What's up, everyone? Thanks for tuning in as I ramble on another vlog series. There's a couple things I want to talk about, and I wanted to. I was like, I got to do this. I got to do this. I got to talk about the current state of our hobby, the 3D printing hobby, of today's climate. Now, I'm not going to get political with it, but it is going to involve what's going on with the tariffs and how it's directly affecting us, and where the 3D printing companies I thought was going one way, and they kind of went a whole extreme, different path, and I will explain. Plus, I am changing the channel, not the content, essentially, but this title, the Tashi Station Emporium, the look, everything is going to be changed, overhauled, new branding. I will explain everything later on in this video, so sit back and let's just talk. Okay, first and foremost, why do I say that the 3D printing hobby is in this flux position of today's climate, right? As we all know, tariffs are being implemented all around. There's a blanket tariff, going up and down, and I don't know if you guys got the letters from like Bamboo Labs or all your filament companies that you have, and I got the letters of everything going up, right? Okay, well. Even American-made companies that weren't have any tariffs on them, they're everybody's raising their prices. And well, let's talk about the filament first. I will say this is that no two filaments are the same, so don't think cheaper is the same as the filament you're getting now, or more expensive is the same of the filament you're getting now. I should do a whole video separate of filament brands and settings that you need to do, right? There are just different ways that these companies do things with filament, and you got to dial your printers into a specific brand. For myself, I use Hatchbox. All my printers are dialed into Hatchbox. I know to a T the temperature settings on the quality that I need out of all these printers. Now, I run a print farm, so it's very important for me. If you're just doing trinkets and even cosplay to an extent, I mean, you can kind of go back and forth with filaments. It doesn't really affect your business. It doesn't affect anything. You just have to relearn certain settings, right? And then you just kind of cookie cutter from there. So again, not always is cheaper better, but not always is expensive better. You have to. There is a difference there. You have to play around with what works for you. But all across the board, I'm seeing, raised prices on filament, raised prices on printers, of course. Most of the companies are China-based companies, right? So that's going to be hit the hardest. I talked about my Bamboo Lab A1 Mini that I got out I got the A1 Mini combo shipped to my door for I think it was $390. That was tax, shipping, the A1 Mini plus the combo, the AMS system, $390. Right now, you're looking at, with that combo and everything, with shipping and tax, you're probably looking at $600. So, I think right now they have a coupon going on, so double check that. I take advantage of any kind of coupons or savings or discounts as you can. But you see that where I thought this was going to be like a household printer going forward. It was good quality, still fast. I thought, oh my God, I could talk anybody into getting these. And now I did a review and I told everybody how much I paid for it. And I was trying to advance the hobby in more people's lives, right? And I don't know how to do that anymore without saying oh, it's affordable. Even though $600 could be affordable still, but $390 was a lot better selling point, right? And again, I'm just using that as an example. I'm not picking on Bamboo Lab. It's across the board. Elegoo's doing it. Creality's doing it. Prusa's already expensive. These are. It's a hobby was expensive a long time ago, and then it got affordable and better. The quality got better and it got cheaper, and now the quality's there, but now it's more expensive. And I don't know. I feel like sometimes, even minus the tariffs, the companies are going backwards in a way. And I'll explain here in a little bit. But, Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. Like, I just have to get it off my chest, right? Prices are going up all over the place, even parts for things. So you can get older printers. Um, for example, you could probably get a Creality, Ender 3, right? Ender 3, or something that's a cheaper $200, $300 printer and everything. But be mindful, because of the current climates, because of tariffs and everything. These printers, I believe, are just being sold to just be sold and out there, and they want the new and improved printers that they're coming out with. The older ones are going to be unsupportive in replacement parts, all the consumables, right? Because, like I said, most printers are consumables. Everything in it you have to replace at some point: print head, motors, belts. Not up front, but eventually as things go out on it. Um, so if you're trying to get into the hobby, unfortunately, you're gonna have to get into it. I believe now at the increased price of the current printers going forward, because I believe these companies are gonna try to get rid of their back stock, get rid of their back all that stuff, and they can't because they're not either making enough money for it. It's going to be too expensive to import them, export them, all that stuff. So um, it's going to be hard for older printers, like besides print farms. Like I said, I have um, 8 CR10s in the as like my majority, right? I have other printers, but the CR10s, version 1s and version 2s, I can only get print heads for version 1s. I can't even get print heads for version 2s anymore. I have to, basically upgrade all my printers. And they're good printers. They're still going to this day. But they're going to be, pretty soon I'm going to have to start replacing some things, and I'm not going to be able to get them. And it's going to force me to get rid of those printers and advance to these new ones. Now, with that in mind, the new printers, okay, the brand new ones that come out, the Bamboo Lab H2, whatever it was, it's this new advanced printer that they came out with, and everybody's so excited because everybody's asking for like a bigger print bed. Well, yeah, you get a slight bigger print bed, but you also get I think it's like $1,800. Okay, very cool advanced features and all that. I'm not, you can look it up and you can go through all the specs and everything. They'll sell you on all the state of the art everything, but the base price is 1,800, I think, and it goes all the way up to like 3,500 now, because you can attach laser cutters, you can attach plotter cutter, pens, you can attach all these things to it, which I'm thoroughly against adding any kind of CNC or laser engraving to existing 3D printers. I believe that there's just no way that can interrupt the 3D printing technology that's in there, because there's smoke and debris and all that stuff that can mess up other systems. So all these companies are starting to add these printers that could do more, that you can attach things to do more of. And now all their base pricing is starting like at almost $2,000. And so I had to like sit there and go, who are these for? Like, who are these for anymore? Are the printing companies for the hobbyists anymore, or are they for the print farmers? Are they for the people who are trying to do like trophy businesses, or are they trying to do like mall kiosks where they have prints that they subscribe to and they could sell them, right? I don't know. It's a weird thing how, trying to think about today's climate, how things got so expensive, and then these companies made more expensive printers. I don't know. Are they it seems like it's like fleshing out the hobbyists, right? Us, most of us, right? There are some, people who do this professionally, and a living, and that's what I half of my business is a 3D printing business, so I am speaking on both sides here. I'm a hobbyist, but also am in the professional world of 3D printing too, where I, sell prints that I make and sell. And I have to readdress a lot of things and restructure my companies and my hobby to kind of keep up with what the climate is doing, right? And again, I saw one direction and it veered off to a complete other direction that's I don't know. I could see it getting out of control, or they're going to have to like kind of revert back, because I don't know how many $3,000 printers they're going to be selling to people, to get into more debt and everything. It's just baffling sometimes. I looked up, a lot of people are have these Prusa machines, and Prusa is very good, but I think it's like $800 to $1,000 for their base, Prusa machine, plus their head changing printer, their multicolor, their head changing. It's like 3,000, 3,500 bucks. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm not gonna touch that anytime soon. So I don't know. don't I don't know, man. I get a little disappointed because like Bamboo Lab, set its emotion about multicolor 3D printing, and it still can. It's just that you're paying almost double now for these machines. Yeah. Again, just rambling here. It's just things on top of my head, and things will change. That's the beauty about everything in life, really. I mean, nothing stays the same. This is just the current climate, the current hobby, and where it's a little bit limiting right now, and it's impacting everything that we do in this industry. I find myself, like I said, why I'm doing this channel. I find myself watching more builds and living vicariously through other, printers out there and other channels and stuff to kind of like get inspiration and see what I can bring and what I can do, because again, I love doing it. For those of you that have watched my pit droid build, and he's right here. Again, I'm going to get a better display, but he's right there peeking over. I did a whole pit droid build, so there's a 4-part series, go from the concept all the way to final assembly. So those of you who have watched and left a comment, thank you so much for your support. There's a lot more coming, trust me. But if you're interested in watching that playlist, it's going to be right there. Just click that and go and watch that playlist. It's cool. And tell me what I could do differently in the future, like different builds, different droids, different whatever. I think that would be something I want to do, a lot more of. But anyway, yeah, just getting back to the changes now. When the whole thing that sparked this whole thing about me was that announcement of that H2D printer that Bamboo Lab has, and I sat on it for a little while before I made a video, watching other people's reviews and seeing where the price range was, and I'm like trying to fit it into how can I look at this printer seriously, because a lot of times it's like window shopping. It's like cool, but it's out of touch, out of reach, and which I do think that's where it's at. It's out of reach, especially with all where the base price is and how it's going. And again, I don't like the Swiss Army knife of 3D printers, especially 3D printing. I believe you buy a 3D printer for 3D printing. You want to buy a CNC machine, buy a CNC machine. I don't need both in one, because I think one system I don't think you can get 100% systems in one machine. Even if they say all these different technologies and these fan vents, I don't think one system goes out, it's going to affect the others. And I personally tend to stay away from those all-in-ones, or those, like I said, the Swiss Army knives of anything. Even printers, right? Printer, fax, copy, scanner. No, just give me what I want so I can solely concentrate on that one function, If I'm wrong, let me... Oh, actually, you know what? If you find if you find printers that you guys have and you want to tell me, like, hey, it's actually... systems are better, like the technologies have become so good that it's not interfering, let me know. I don't have one to test. I'm just going off like my base thoughts, right? Like CNC or engraving produces smoke, and smoke is just like water. It can get into any nooks and cranny of any wiring system. So how can that not affect 3D printing, which is fragile as it is? Temperature and dust and film and all that stuff. So I just don't understand why the companies are leaning towards these makeshift printers. Again, it's not for it. It can't be for the hobbyist, dude. For $3,000, I don't think any hobbyist is going to sit there and do scrapbooking or Christmas ornaments or household trinkets for $3,000, man. They just go to Michael's or eBay, right, and just buy themselves. I know, even as a maker, I'm not going to do that just so I can make a 50-cent item. You know what I mean? It just doesn't, for my personal thoughts, it doesn't make sense. Anyway, yeah. Anyway, more to come on that. We'll see where it goes. We'll see where it goes. And I think it's good to concentrate. It's good to have your ear to the ground on the technology itself. Listen to podcasts. Listen, watch channels and try to just kind of gauge where the 3D printing industry is going, right? And then if you're in the market to buy a 3D printer, make a good decision. And like I said, in my opinion, a good decision is buying a current low end printer, but current, not an older one, not ones that's not going to be supported. Because again, I think these companies are flushing out their old inventory, their old printers, their old technology. This is the transitional period right now, and especially with they have to reorganize too. They have to like sit there and go, okay, what's best for them in the future? And I think supporting their older machines are not in their best interest. So if you're in the market, uh, unfortunately, right now you're gonna have to spend a little bit more, but you're gonna get the results that I think that you need, and what you think you need too, And if you're trying to buy another printer, and like me, I always try to buy more printers for my business and everything, but I'm also starting to lose printers because now I can't. They're not being supported. So I'm forced to upgrade to the latest, and I'm forced to spend those monies. And again, even American-made companies now they don't. It's like you're not getting anything cheaper buying American, if you can find them first off, but because they're raising their prices as a industry does. It makes no sense for this guy to only sell $200 machines when everything else is 600. And he's like, well, I can get money. I mean, again, it's business capitalism, right? Can't blame him. It sucks for us, but it's just, and if you have a business and try to charge more for your prints, it's just like, I don't know. It's a catch-22 all around. Again, that's my little rant on that. And like I said, I'm hoping that I want to get back into more positive stuff. Like, this printer is the best printer ever. Buy 50 of them save on money and all that stuff. And where I can help you guys is in the filament department. Again, I think I'll do like a more concentrated video on that. I think, and kind of going on like where you're going to need to experiment on there's certain files out there too. We'll have to explain, like, you can do some testing before a roll of filament, so you can adjust your temperatures, the speed and fan speed and all that stuff before you go into a cheaper or a different brand of filament. But I digress on that. All right, if you made it this far into my rant, I applaud you. I tend to do that a lot, but that's what these vlogs are for, is to sit back and just try to gauge the pulse of the industry every once in a while, see where things are going, especially on this channel. And speaking of this channel, the name Tashi Station Emporium. Okay, well, if you're a Star Wars fan, you know where that's from. Tashi Station is a Star Wars thing. I opened up the Emporium side because I'm selling action figure stands and displays. I design them myself. I print them myself. I have a print farm, and I sell them on my website and eBay. And initially, I was trying to do product reviews on this channel, as like if I design something new, I would showcase it and then, kind of like put it out there. And it's like, this is how you do it. And you can come back here for references. I still might do that, but probably on more of a retract a little bit on that, because the way I'm structuring the channel, the way I'm having a lot more fun with it, was with reviews, vlogs like this, talking about the industry, ultimate builds, tips and tricks, different kind of things. I think I want to steer this channel more to a 3D printing resource environment, plus like more 3D printing entertainment environment. So the Tashi Station Emporium name doesn't make sense in that outfit. Plus, as well, I know on like I said, my sales and on stuff, as everything grows, Tashi Station, I can't legally. I'm gonna get in trouble eventually, I think, and I think I need to just get a handle on it now and change it and not use it, because I wasn't doing a business as a Tashi Station. It was just like a fun channel to come to, or fun title to come to. But it was I don't want any kind of future problems with it. So another reason why changing and rebranding is in my thought process. Now this is going to happen fairly soon. I've already have the name, already have the concept. So you're going to see here in the future where everything's going to change. The logo, the name, the color scheme, the branding of it is all going to change, and it's going to be cool. It's going to be fun. It's going to have a more concentrated 3D printing feel to it. If I do the Emporium side of it, I will label that a Tashi Station product and stuff, and that'll be for a specific, you know, playlist or whatever I do. But I think I'm enjoying the ultimate builds, and what I've got planned for the ultimate builds is one of the main reasons why I got to switch this channel over to something now. None of the past content that's on the channel is going to change. It's going to remain on here. The only thing that's changing is the branding. That's it. And then more, like I said, a bigger concentration, more production, more cooler builds moving forward. Now, I can give you a little hint. And as like I said, with Tashi Station, you guys know I'm a huge fan of Star Wars. I'm even one of the co-hosts on the Starlight Digest, which is the Star Wars podcast every week. And I am going to merge my love of Star Wars with my also other love of a genre, which is horror movies, monsters, right? So the theme of this of my branding is gonna have like kind of merge the two in a way, more on the monster wave than it is Star Wars, but they'll have some Star Wars elements. I'm still gonna do Star Wars builds. That's like never gonna go away. That's something I mean, I want an army of droids. Every droid in the Star Wars universe, I want them in my living room right now. So that's never going to go away. But just to give you guys a little, kind of teaser, if you're interested in that, I think it's going to be very cool. And I'm excited because I think that if you're never innovating yourself, never reinventing yourself here and there, I think it becomes dull and boring. And there gives you a chance to kind of take a step back and concentrate on the thing that you're really passionate about. Then I want to wake up every day and do this. I want to wake up every day and do 3D printing. I don't, even if it's working in the industry, doing a business. 3D printing has become a huge passion of mine for 10 plus years now, and the only way I can continue to evolve it is to work on this channel. But like now take that step and be like, all right, I'm making it all mine. This is going to be like a big thing, and have a lot of fun with it. I think that's key too. I don't want it to be boring and all that. And I also want the title and everything to make sense on the overall channel itself. So there's my, like I said, just a thought process, going forward. I like doing these vlog series. I people who know me, I like to talk. I like to sit and talk. Turn the microphone on and just kind of, vent away and interact. I love interacting too. So if you have any comments, leave them in the comment section below, and let's keep the conversation going until the next vlog that I do. It's just going to be, like I said, if I come up with, something that's worthwhile talking about, or if maybe the climate changes, I'll address it. Let's go. I have a couple friends now that are trying to get into 3D printing, and I'm like, I want you to do it, but I don't want tomorrow to be like you spend $600 on this printer now, and then tomorrow it's back to $390. That's the dangerous part of it right now. So I'm telling everybody to go in with it with patience, with hopefully some optimism, and maybe the dust will settle in our favor. I don't think we're ever going to get out of paying more for anything, but it's how much more, I think, is the issue, right? That's where it needs to go. And these companies, man, like, hey, address the hobbyists. I think the hobbyist is where you're going to get the word of mouth for. It's not going to be like the huge industries and everything like that. I mean, you have those printers, but having a $3,000 printer and you're toting it as this ultimate hobbyist thing, that's out of the reach for a lot of people, man. The only way it's that much money is because you're adding all these features that maybe you could separate that out. I don't know, my opinion, But you guys know what you're doing, I guess. So, but I'll continue to listen, and I'll continue to support and buy and be in this industry until it's no more. Which I don't think it'll ever go away. I think it'll always evolve, always change. So, thank you guys so much. I'm gonna get out of here, and I've got some 3D printing to do. I've got some sanding to do. I've got some modeling to do, and yeah, I need you guys to do the same. I need you to print every single day. Go on Thingiverse, go on Maker World, find prints, support the people that are putting those models out there. Support them. Do a video, create a channel. Just be creative in life. It's a lot of fun, But of course, stay safe while doing it, and don't go broke, while doing it too. So with that, I will see you guys on the next video.